Welcome to latest News Blaster. In a heart-wrenching revelation that has left fans and admirers across the globe in shock, the legendary actress, singer, and writer Dale Evans, best known as the Queen of the West and the iconic partner of Roy Rogers, delivered a deeply personal and painfully honest confession about her husband that has only now come to light, casting a complex shadow over the fairy tale image that fans had cherished for decades. Dale Evans, whose career spans singing, acting, and writing, was admired not just for her talent, but for her unwavering commitment to her family, her faith, and her moral convictions. And yet, behind the glitz of Hollywood and the spotlight of the silver screen, she grappled with private struggles that few could have imagined, culminating in a confession that would reveal a side of her life, and of her marriage, that had remained hidden from public view for years. Sources close to the family have disclosed that in the final months of her life, Evans, who passed away peacefully at the age of 88, felt compelled to speak her truth, documenting a painful reality about her husband, Roy Rogers, that contrasted sharply with the legendary image of the King of the Cowboys and their seemingly perfect partnership, an image that had been meticulously maintained through decades of public appearances, films, and television shows. According to interviews, letters, and private journals that have now surfaced, Evans struggled with feelings of betrayal, disappointment, and heartbreak as she confronted aspects of her husband's behavior that she could no longer reconcile with the love and loyalty she had devoted to him, and in a final act of courage, she chose to record her experiences in her own words, knowing that doing so would forever alter the public's perception of the couple. The revelation has been described by historians and biographers as both shocking and deeply humanizing, highlighting the complexity of personal relationships that exist behind the veneer of fame and fortune, and providing a sobering reminder that even icons like Dale Evans, who radiated kindness, faith, and strength, were not immune to pain, disillusionment, and the challenges of navigating intimate relationships over the course of a long marriage. Friends who were close to Evans in her final years have recalled her sitting quietly in her study, reflecting on decades of marriage that had been filled with love, partnership, and professional collaboration, yet simultaneously marked by moments of tension, secrecy, and emotional strain, as she weighed the burden of silence against the imperative to be truthful, and ultimately chose to leave behind a record of her feelings, her disappointments, and her unfiltered thoughts about the man she had married, the partner who had been her companion through triumphs and tribulations alike, and the husband who, despite his public charm and generosity, had at times hurt her in ways that were private and deeply personal. The newly revealed documents paint a portrait of a woman torn between devotion and disillusionment, someone who had invested her heart fully in a marriage that, while celebrated publicly as a model of partnership and love, had contained shadows that few were aware of, including moments of emotional distance, unspoken conflicts, and personal choices made by her husband that left her questioning not only her marriage, but also her understanding of trust, fidelity, and mutual respect. Analysts and fans alike have expressed amazement at Evans's bravery in choosing to share these intimate reflections posthumously, noting that her decision to speak candidly about her husband's actions, without sensationalism, bitterness, or recrimination, demonstrates a remarkable depth of character, integrity, and courage, allowing her legacy to be remembered not only for her professional accomplishments, but also for her unwavering commitment to honesty, authenticity, and moral clarity. As the news spreads, discussions have emerged in media outlets, social networks, and fan communities, debating the nature of Roy Rogers' behavior, the dynamics of their marriage, and the broader implications of Evans' revelations for understanding celebrity marriages, particularly those that have long been idealized in the public imagination, with commentators noting that her words provide a nuanced perspective on the realities of sustaining long-term relationships under the glare of fame, the pressures of Hollywood, and the challenges of balancing personal fulfillment with public expectations. Biographers have pointed out that while Evans and Rogers were undoubtedly devoted partners who collaborated creatively in films, television shows, and philanthropic endeavors, the newly revealed confessions shed light on the fact that their relationship, like all human relationships, was complex and multifaceted, containing both moments of profound love and instances of difficulty and misunderstanding, ultimately painting a picture of marriage that is both inspiring and cautionary, demonstrating that even the most celebrated unions are not immune to the tests of trust, honesty, and emotional vulnerability. The confession, which details Evans' reflections on loyalty, compromise, personal boundaries, and the sometimes painful truth about loving someone deeply while confronting their flaws, has been described as both heartbreaking and empowering, as it showcases her ability to face reality with clarity and courage, even in the twilight of her life, and to leave behind a testament that encourages readers to consider the complexities of human relationships with empathy, wisdom, and honesty. Moreover, the revelation has prompted a re-evaluation of Roy Rogers' legacy, as fans and historians grapple with reconciling the public persona of the beloved cowboy star with the more nuanced and humanized portrait painted by Evans's candid reflections. Acknowledging that the man who had brought joy,